guys, I'm Glitter Valkyrie, and today we are going to pull for Legendary Ninian. And I'm going to start out by saying I am so sorry that my voice sounds like this. I've been pretty sick, but I really wanted to pull today, and so hopefully my voice can make it all the way through. So I will do my best to talk about this banner as we go along, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so our plan for today is going to be to snipe green, and that is because two of my most beloved characters are in that color. I was so beyond overjoyed when I saw that Ninian was going to be on this banner sharing with Xander. She is one of my favorite characters from FE7, probably my second favorite female character just behind Sarah, and I always felt like she deserved a legendary form, and they just did such a great job with this version. I think her design is absolutely gorgeous. But I also think she's going to be a very competent unit. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I am so beyond happy to see him. That's amazing. All right, let's check IVs. And he is plus speed. And I guess it doesn't super matter about IVs at this point because mine is plus speed and I'm going to give him a Floret and make him plus attack. But I am so happy with every Xander that I see. I still need several to get him to plus 10, but hopefully we can see more of him today. I was totally fine with him sharing with male Byleth. I definitely want him less than the other two, but he is a really good unit. I do like his art, and he is an amazing voice actor. So this is definitely better than the last banner with Xander for sharing. So that's definitely going to be our color of choice. But if we don't have any greens, I think that blue is actually quite strong this time around. They have the other Ninian, who I love. Mine is actually plus 4 because she's pity broken me a bunch of times, and I would love to get more merges. And aside from her, she shares with Not, who is attack speed menace, which is one of my favorite skills. And female Byleth is there too, and I think she's pretty good. So yeah, I think that blue is a super strong color if we don't have green. And if we don't have either of those, I guess we would go colorless because I only need like 1 or 2 more merges to get Milla to plus 10, and I do like Teenate as well. I don't really want Florina. I don't really like her. I don't like her ascended form, but she does have a trace, so that really isn't too bad. And as for red, this was super tough because I could use like 10 copies of Fallen Lilith. She is such a great unit for fodder, and I love Alina as well, but I don't want to risk getting Regan. So that's why we're going to avoid those reds today. Oh my goodness! There's Byleth. You know what? I'm super happy with that. All right, let's check IVs. And he is plus res minus defense. I will take that. I think that mine is minus attack, so I am super happy with that. So I guess I've talked about everybody on the banner as best I could. I feel like I'm already losing my voice, but you know, we're just going to do our best. If we have to take a little break, we will, but we have to keep summoning. So let's go ahead and answer our viewer questions now. And as always, if I did not get to your question, I am so sorry. I will try to do it in a future one. And if you think of a question you want to ask me, just leave it in the comments with #question, and I will put your question on my list. So our first question today comes from Joshua Batar, and they ask, who is your favorite mage in Genshin Impact? So this is, oh my gosh, 4 greens. That is absolutely amazing. Let's hope it's amazing. But getting back to this question from Joshua, my favorite mage in Genshin Impact, this is probably kind of a weird answer because she's not technically playable yet, but my answer would be Nahida. I think that she is the most adorable character we have in Genshin Impact. I am so committed to getting her when she comes out. I'm going to get her weapon. I'll probably go for constellations. She's just the most lovable, adorable, sweet Archon, and I think that everybody should love her. So even though I can't play her yet, I'm definitely going to. I've seen the leaks that I shouldn't talk about. She does look amazing. So yes, she would be my answer. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Toshiro Fan 100. And they ask, what is your first impression of Fire Emblem Engage? And is it a day 1 pickup for you? So I talked about it a little bit before in my previous video, but I'm kind of cautiously cautious about Engage. I'm still not fully over Lord Colgate being our Lord, but here he is. But I do like some of the character designs, and I'm hopeful that it's going to be a Fire Emblem that I enjoy with some fun mechanics. So yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of hopeful that it's going to be good. And it is going to be a day one pickup for me just because I'm such a big fan. I feel like it's Fire Emblem. At the very least, I'll have fun getting through it. So yes, it is a day one pickup for me. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Katie Firmage. And she had a couple questions for me. And they were, who are your favorite FAOCs? Who are you voting for in CYL 7? And who do you think could win in CYL 7? Okay, so as for my favorite FAOC, Triandra is number 1, but I also love Peony and Dagger and Legyarn. And then as for who I'm voting for in CYL 7, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think that most of my votes will go to Sigurd and Hilda. And I'm going to throw a few votes to Larshell just because I have to. She's never going to win, but, you know, I feel like I have to do it. And then as for who I think is going to win for CYL 7, I think that it's going to completely depend upon if we have engaged characters in Fae. Because if we have those characters in Fae, I think that it's going to be like a complete sweep with those characters in the game. But if we don't have those yet, I think that it's going to be characters that got close in this previous one. So I think that male Robin has a good shot, and Felix, if he doesn't get another form until then, and maybe Soren. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, we got female Byleth. I will absolutely take that. All right, let's check IVs. And she is minus attack, but that's going to be a merge. And getting back to this lucky question from Katie, I was saying that I feel like Felix has a shot if he doesn't get an alt in between that time. And then I think that for the female side, I think female Corrin has a good chance, and maybe Bernadetta as well. But thank you for that very lucky question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Ice Angel. And they ask, what do you think of the new Breath of the Wild trailer? So that was definitely one of the highlights of the direct for me. I was so impressed with what I saw that they showed us so far. I think that the world looks beautiful. I love that we have these floating areas. It reminded me a lot of Skyward Sword. I don't know how much they're going to take from that, but that made me very excited. And, you know, I'm still a little bit worried about not having a cohesive story because that was one of the drawbacks for me with the original. But, you know what, I have a lot of hope. I think it looks amazing and definitely going to pick it up on day one. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next question. And this comes from Luis Daniel Garcia Escobar. And they ask, how would you feel if they reveal a Xenoblade Chronicles gacha? Would you play it? And which character would you want to see the most in that game? So if it is Xenoblade, I'm going to buy it. There's no question about that because I'm a huge fan. And even though I don't love gacha games, I think it's still a game that I'd probably enjoy. And if they did have that kind of game, I would want to see Mio and Noah because they are my favorites. And Morag and Rex too. But thank you for that great question. And we get a Violent. All right, let's go ahead and pull this next screen, and I'm going to take a moment to rest my voice. I'm so sorry. Okay, 3-star. Not that much of a break. We get a Libra. Okay, so let's back out, and we will answer another one. And this comes from Cruz Cortez. And they ask, did you buy any of the Fire Emblem Three Houses figures that were released? And if so, which ones did you get? And P.S., how many claws did you buy? So this might be kind of surprising, but I did not purchase any of those figurines. I am not really someone that buys any figurines because I feel like I have no place to put them. Really, the only video game merch that I ever buy is like cute jewelry from Etsy. And it's always something that I can like wear out in public that people probably won't know is something related to video games. And if someone does and they like it, then that's great. Like my Kokiri Emerald earrings or like my Genshin Vision earrings are some of my favorites, but that's mostly what I use. But thank you for that great question. Okay, 3-star. And we get a Lex. So let's back out and let's go ahead and answer another question. And this comes from Rid PR. And they ask, I believe you've said before that you want Chris Tagliaferra to be in Fire Emblem someday. So which currently voiceless character do you think would be the perfect fit for him? So yes, he is one of my favorite voice actors of all time. He's so incredibly talented, so excited that he's going to voice Capitano in Genshin. And I do have a character in mind for Faye, and that would be Oswin. He is my most wanted character added to Faye. paired with one of my most favorite voice actors. I feel like his voice would fit him perfectly, and that is my #1 wish for Faye. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. We got another Byleth. I will take that. All right, let's check this one. Holy smokes, plus attack. That is amazing. So we're going to merge into this one. And thank you so much, Red PR. That was a very lucky question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from SearchCaster224. And they ask, what plot twist in either video games, series, or movies has surprised you the most and the least? So I'm going to try and answer this spoiler-free. I'll try to be careful. But the one that surprised me the most would probably be 9 Persons, 9 Hours, 9 Doors. It's such an amazing game. Everybody should experience it spoiler-free. But yeah, that was the biggest plot twist. But I would say probably all of these Xenoblades also had amazing plot twists that I really enjoyed. And as for the one that surprised me the least, I would say it's probably like the big villain reveal in Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's like they made it out to be this like huge surprise that this person is the villain, but like as soon as you meet this person, you know they are evil. It's very, very apparent. So yeah, I thought that was probably the worst plot twist in a video game for me. But thank you for that great question. Okay, please, please, please be Ninian. Oh, okay. It's the Grinch. That's fine. I think he does have like Vengeful Fighter or something. Okay, let's check IVs. And he is plus defense, sure. So we will go ahead and pull this next green. And let's go ahead and answer another question. And this comes from Rich Pichu. And they ask, what are your opinions on Asker and Embla so far? So as for Asker, I would say he was a pretty neat character. I thought that he was very kind, and I really liked his design. He's a very, very strong character to use. And as for Embla, I really like her design. They did a great job with it, but I don't really like her as a character. She's not very nice. But thank you for that great question. So let's back out. And I'm really, really hoping that we can get a Ninian because like the ideal scenario would be that we would get her before the 40 and then we could take another copy of Xander. So I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed. And we get a Gunther. All right, so let's back out and let's go ahead and answer another one. And this comes from Powerful Gander 1562. And they ask, if I were to make an Alphonse emblem, would Leaf count? So I think that if you're making an Alphonse emblem, you know, I'm not 100% sure if we have 4 Alphonses yet. So if we do have 4 Alphonses, maybe not. But if we don't have enough for an Alphonse emblem with 4 characters, I would say that he absolutely counts. But thank you for that great question. Okay, 3-star. And we get another Labor. I feel like we've seen a lot of him today. So let's back out. I really, really hope that she comes home. You know, one of my gripes with sparking with the Fae Pass is that you can't choose when to do it, because if it were up to me, I would just keep going until I got a Ninian and then I would spark for Xander, but unfortunately it's not something we can do. So I guess I really can't complain about it. But hopefully this is her. Okay, 3-star. And we get a Camilla. All right, so we're at our 40, so we have to make this decision. This is going to be so tough. Oh gosh, what do I do? I feel like the smart thing to do is to take Xander, but what if I like never get Ninian? That would break my heart. Oh, I feel like I have to take her. She's one of my favorites, so I'm so sorry, Xander. Oh my goodness. I absolutely adore this art. It is so beautiful. And we get a blessing, and we get the thing. All right, so I think that we're going to end things here for now because I don't think I'm going to have much more of a voice to keep talking. So I'm really happy with how this went because I got a Xander and Ninian and some Byleths. So overall, I think this went pretty well. I do want to thank everybody that submitted questions. I really, really appreciate your support. And I am so sorry that this video has sounded like this, and I'm also sorry that there was no Sino video, but I actually had an even worse voice for that, so I couldn't record. So again, thank you for your patience, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.